Shout out Bruce Gas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a trap for my boy.
Where you at?
Yeah, I've been in your rapping boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas putting no fights on the table. Calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. On the people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the people. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out Magic, that real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the pan. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sand. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed, yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more. Turn that down a little bit here. Ed Woodson, first guy here. Thank you, bro. Maybe the only guy here. Appreciate you coming in here, man. This is in celebration of the birthday of the greatest lightweight, maybe one of the greatest boxers of all time. I'm hitting on some vanilla kush right now. My brother Martin, salute, man. Thank you so much for coming by. Roberto Duran's birthday today. 73 years old, man. Wow, I got a big sailboat coming by my house. Let me see if I can show this to you. See if I can bring this up. Let's see. First of all, I gotta bring it up down here. Let me see here. Oh, this will do it. And yeah, here we go. Always like to bring that up, man, to show you how beautiful it is out here today. Of all days, Father's Day on the bay. We got sailboats going out there. We got all kind of stuff, man. Hey, Joe, my brother, salute, man, salute. Martin Dunkstead, my bro. Puro, my man. Thank you so much for coming by, man. I'm just here to talk about Roberto Duran, man. One of my favorites from the day. You know, I first started recognizing Roberto Duran in the mid-70s. Let's do a few blasts for Manos di Piedra. The Hands of Stone. Oh no, I dropped a bud. Pick that sucker right up. You know, last night we saw Tank in action. Everybody is talking about how great a lightweight Tank is, man. And we'd love to. Right now, I guess he pretty much is the stellar lightweight out there, but he does have some things to prove. Patrick, salute, man. Thank you for coming by here, man. You know, Roberto fought everybody in every division. He didn't care if they were big or small. And like I said earlier, man, the first time I saw Roberto Duran was on the ABC's Wide World of Sports in 1974, and it was his rematch with Esteban de Jesus. They fought 3 times. I'm pretty sure this was the rematch. Use my freaking controls here. Yeah, because that was Roberto Duran's first loss in his career. It was in 1972, and he lost a decision to Esteban de Jesus at Madison Square Garden, of all places. Hey, salute my brother Carlos Mendoza, the drunk Irishman. Salute, salute. On this Father's Day. I mean, look at how nice it is out there. I just went for a stroll with the dog. It's freaking. It's one of those days, man. It's a picturesque day. You can see those clouds out there. Just it's warm, not humid at all. Just real comfortable. But I mean, as good as Tank was, just to watch a young Roberto Duran is really a mind blower, man. It really, he came to. He fought. He won his title from Ken Buchanan on a foul. Well, it wasn't a foul. People said it was a low blow. You watch it, and it's not really a low blow. But with the help of my good friend Nick M and Vantage Boxing, I think we even have these. Fights at our disposal. You can watch a highlight of it anyway. Let me play armchair technician here and see if I can find my friend. Let me go to Vintage Boxing. There we go. All I gotta do is type a V in there. My computer knows exactly what I wanted, what I'm looking for. Hey, Paul, just go over on Facebook, man. Thank you so much for coming by. Patrick, Bruce, I've still got a headache from that 10 KO punch from last night. Happy Father's Day to all dads. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, we had a good time over here last night, man. Tim, I wanted to get Tim to where he could call a fight, but he's got his laptop and his phone, and he couldn't get the fights in on his phone. But we talked him into getting him in on his laptop. So I mean, Tim's a great fight caller, and it was a nice little party. He told me today he's getting a new phone on Monday, so it's gonna be smooth sailing. I mean, when I can break down a fight with Terrible Tim Witherspoon. Hey, man, Remy, my brother. Look at him. Remy's coming in, shooting me up super chat, bro. And Remy, man, Remy is one of the most generous cats on here, man. Remy's always showing me support. Remy sent me stuff, man. Remy's such a cool dude out there, man. Thank you once again, Remy. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. But anyway, Let's go back to Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran in the 70s. And like I said, man, I read about him in the magazines I was buying. They were always talking about this lightweight from Panama. And you know what? See, a few years ago, I say a few years ago, I'm probably talking like 20 years ago, my wife went to the dollar store and picked me up this book, man. I Am Duran, the autobiography. A great read, man. I mean, hardcore edition with the cover and everything on it, man, for 99 cents or some crazy thing like that. But I mean, I read that sucker immediately. It was a fantastic read. And am I seeing double here? Remy, thank you again, my man. You humble me, brother. You humble me. This is my first time I've been monitored on. First time I've ever gotten the thing where I can get super chats and stuff on here, and I mean it's humbling and very, very appreciated, man. Thank you so much. But Roberto Duran, man, reading that book. See, I read about the things that I didn't know about Duran, how he grew up. Carlos, what do you got to say out there? Carlos is a very, very intelligent boxing fan. Duran lightweight run, Ray Lampkin, Esteban de Jesus, Hirio Kobayashi, Edwin Villaret, Ken Buchanan, Ernesto Marcel, Guts Imo and Saul Mombi. I mean, that's a Hall of Fame repertoire right there. And I mean, Roberto Duran, like I said earlier, the mid '70s is when I first Technique. Salute my brother. Is when I first got to follow Roberto Duran. And I can remember Saturday afternoon, which is great because see, Panama City is 1 hour behind where America is, Eastern Standard Time. So it worked out really good, man. The Duran fights they showed the ones from New York were. It was a life of afternoon boxing. It wasn't like it is now where we have the midnight fights. The main event doesn't start until 11:30. I mean, fights went down. You'd see the big fights would start at night, but when they wanted to get their publicity, there's my brother C. Wood, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. When they wanted to get the exposure was the afternoons. Wide World of Sports, CBS Sports Spectacular, NBC Sports World, and that was it. There was no ESPN, no USA, and definitely no HBO back then. And HBO was in its real young infancy, but that was reserved for the big fights. And like I was saying earlier, ABC's Wide World of Sports they were the pioneers where they really tried to educate us. They were more to boxing than the heavyweights. Muhammad Ali, he absolutely overtook the world. Everybody knew who Ali was. But see, on Wide World of Sports, you get to see guys like the Carlos Palominos, the Roberto Durans. You even get to see the late Griffith fights, fights like that. So I was watching all that and I'm saying, wow, look at these guys. They're fighting in these huge arenas, and Roberto Duran, when he fought Ray Lampkin, there was big talk in the boxing magazines. When the fight's over, it was a tough fight. Roberto Duran stopped him in the 14th, and Lampkin had to go to the hospital. And when asked about that afterwards, there he is, my man John McSmith. Salute, brother. They informed Duran that his opponent was in the hospital, and we're expecting. Hey man, I hope he gets better. Wish him well. And Roberto Duran says, next time I'll put him in the morgue. I mean, this was Roberto Duran. This was the animal Roberto Duran. But see, I wasn't following Roberto Duran a lot back in his lightweight days. It's only after boxing became very popular with Sugar Ray Leonard. After the '76 Olympics, the welterweights were the hottest thing in the world. And Roberto Duran came up from lightweight. He relinquished his title, and he moved right up to fight the 147 pounders. And let me look so I don't misquote it wrong here. But let's see, man. Yeah, he came to in the late '70s. He came to New York and he fought the Edwin Viruet and his brother Adolfo. He took on Esteban de Jesus again in a rematch. He took him on for the third fight, knocked him out. Esteban de Jesus, translated Stephen of Jesus. But they had a bit of rivalry, and Esteban de Jesus ended up dying of AIDS in Puerto Rico. He had he was a drug addict and involved in crime, and he was in the early stages of AIDS, and he died. And Roberto Duran was heartbroken. He was. It's tough to see people you have these wars in the ring with, but you form such a bond, and that was Roberto Duran. Let me continue with his career, man. When he moved up, he fought Monroe Brooks, who was a tough cat in New York, man, in Madison Square Garden, and they loved Roberto Duran in Madison Square Garden. And yeah, it's a shame that Tony Ayala and Roberto Duran never happened. But Roberto Duran is just moving up, and this is when I started noticing him. The first fight that I went to see, I saw the replay of it. One of the fights where I'm saying, hey man, this guy is not just a little lightweight, because Roberto Duran was not a big lightweight. He was small and just fast, like animalistic. But he's moving up. He's taking on Carlos Palomino, former welterweight champion who got beat by Wilfred Benitez. And Carlos Palomino was well known, had a lot of title defenses. Cue ball, man. Salute to you, my brother. Salute, bro. You know, he was on the undercard of a fight we just talked about the other day, the Larry Holmes and Mike Weaver fight, and it was Roberto Duran's foray into the actual top contender at lightweight. He's taking on Carlos Palomino. I thought Palomino was going to beat him up because back then we respected weight divisions. There weren't as many belts as there were now. There weren't as many weight divisions, but there were still the juniors and the supers. But I mean, not on the scale that there is today. And for Roberto Duran to come up from, he fought a few times at junior welterweight, but not really, man. He pretty much made that jump from 135. Looking into the weights after the Esteban de Jesus, that was his last defense of the unified at the time undisputed WBA and WBC lightweight title. He relinquished that and he moved up to the welterweight. He fought Adolfo Viruet, that's the brother of Edwin, who he defended the title against. Hey, BBO, salute, man. And William Old School. Appreciate you guys stopping in here, man. I'm just going to talk some old school boxing, man. And, I just want to honor Roberto Duran on his 73rd birthday. Nasrak, salute, my brother. Always good to see you in here. Appreciate you cats popping in here. I think it's a Sunday afternoon, man, when we can catch our brothers overseas. And it's a lazy day. We can talk a little bit of boxing in here. Get an early buzz going. I don't know if we're gonna do the old timers show tonight or not because Jay and the hardcore boys and the cats from the old cats. Most of them cats went to Vegas this week and they're out there. So we're probably not gonna do that. Skywalker sent me a text that can't do his show tonight, which I do on Sunday nights too. So man, I figured I'd just get it off my chest over here. Talk about it, especially Roberto Duran, because I mean Roberto Duran is a special cat. Just had a bypass put in. He had a scare. He was in the hospital, and I mean, anytime you have something like that, people in the medical industry, we talk about that, and bypass, that's nothing, man. It's like having a tonsillectomy today, but taking an artery out of your heart and putting another artificial one in there. To me, that's not like a tonsillectomy. It's a little more serious than that. But anyway, Roberto Duran is on his feet. If you see him now, he definitely does not look like the Roberto Duran. Well, I guess none of us do. We try to puff the chest out and fill it out a little bit. But age is the opponent that's undefeated. And seeing Roberto Duran at some of the functions we've been seeing him at lately, it's great to see him, but it's a realization that this is what's going to get us all in the end, And to see Roberto Duran out there and to not honor this cat on his birthday, his daughter Delia, I'm friends with her on Facebook, and we correspond a little bit, not like we're old buds, but a message now and then. How's the old man doing? His father, he's doing well, and and things like that. But anyway, she posts pictures of them, recent pictures of her and Dad when they were growing up, and 73. We gotta honor this dude today. But like I stated earlier, man, that fight with Carlos Palomino. 10-round unanimous decision. And it was a brutally unanimous decision, too. There was no question about it. He made Carlos Palomino look old. After that, man, there were a few more fights. Zeferino Gonzalez and Joseph Nubaga. They were fights televised on CBS. Wellington Wheatley was another one. See, these names, you see them, they're absolutely nobodies in boxing, but living through that era, I mean, they were respected fighters. Especially like Zeferino Gonzalez. They called him Nino Gonzalez, fighting out of New York. He was a brash little welterweight until he ran into Roberto Duran. And the same thing with Joseph Nubaga. He was a African coming into the U.S. Big reputation behind him of the Cornelius Boza Edwards mold, and Duran went right through him. And Duran was just setting himself up because Duran had a personal hatred with Sugar Ray Leonard, man. And this is the fight that everybody wanted to see. This is the fight that made people who never were boxing fans. All of a sudden they're Roberto Duran fans, they're Sugar Ray Leonard fans. Everybody knows what's going on in boxing. And this is 1980, and boxing is hot, and the fight is made, and it's in Montreal. It's in Quebec, Canada, at the same arena they just had the Olympics in 4 years earlier. Just Blaze one, salute my brother. And I went to the closed circuit of this fight with Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. Me and my friend J.R. Chauvin went there, and it was in a rough section of the city. Flawless mentality, my bro. Salute to you. And my buddy J.R., he passed away a couple of years ago. But anyway, he was strapped. He brought his 9mm, and there was no air conditioning in the place. It was hot as hell. There was shit going on with the Spanish people and the black people, and man, it was crazy. The telecast went down, and there was like a mini riot, and people had to leave the theater, and it was tough. But when this was quelled down, before the Duran fight came on, Duran and Leonard fight came on, they restored order, and people got to go back into the theater and sit down. And the picture wasn't that great, but man, Roberto Duran shined that night, and he took on Sugar Ray Leonard, America's sweetheart. I mean, everybody loved Leonard, and Roberto Duran was the animal that night. He got Sugar Ray Leonard into a slugfest. Sugar Ray Leonard had no business slugging, but he did, and Sugar Ray showed a lot of heart in that fight. But in the end, Roberto was just too much. De Niro, salute my brother. Appreciate you coming by. You know, Roberto Duran was too much, and it was a really close fight too. Was it a unanimous decision or not? Let me take a quick look here. It was a unanimous decision. It was fairly close, but it was unanimous. It was by 2 or 3 rounds, and this set the stage for that auspicious thing that we all hear about, the famous No Mas fight. And it was a rematch. Sugar Ray Leonard got Don King, hit him with a lot of money to get that rematch happening, and Duran was notorious for partying big time between fights, blowing up, eating and drinking, and he was over 200 pounds. He got the word there's going to be a rematch. It's going to happen. It's going to happen within 8 months. Duran had really no choice with the money he was offered. He only made $1 million, $1.5 million compared to $7 million that Leonard made in the first fight. This time they're making 50-50 dough. Roberto Duran has never seen money like this. He gets into the fight. The rest is history. He came in unprepared. Sugar Ray Leonard was so focused that night. Rolling with the punches, my brother. Salute, man. Salute. That Roberto Duran quit in frustration, uttered no mas, and they say, it wasn't no mas. Oh yeah, it was no mas. It was no mas, no more. He turned his head. Sugar Ray Leonard redeemed himself, and everybody thought that was the end of Roberto Duran. We weren't going to see Roberto Duran anymore. Roberto Duran had left in humiliation, and he kind of did, man. He kind of did. Nobody wanted to see Roberto Duran, but within less than a year, he was back again. He was fighting on NBC Sports World, taking on Nino Gonzalez, taking on the Italian Luigi Mincio. Then he fought an HBO fight with Wilfred Benitez, and this was big, man. These are two. Roberto Duran kind of redeemed himself. He had 3 victories. Wilfred Benitez had definitely redeemed himself. Knocked out Maurice Hope to win the WBC super welterweight title, and the stage is set. Roberto Duran is once again getting another shot at a title. And it was kind of a dull fight. Wilfred Benitez just picked apart Roberto Duran. The scores were relatively close. I didn't see them that way. And Roberto Duran was frustrated. And Roberto Duran was once again in defeat. And Joe says Duran was done. Then Tony Ayala got drunk and horny, and Duran gets the Moore fight. That's about the size of it. But in the meantime, Roberto Duran fights another cat, which this was on the undercard. It was on a Don King undercard. No, I'm sorry. He went to England, Detroit. It was on a I can't even remember the undercard it was on. But anyway, he lost to Kirkland Lang. And Don King went crazy. Don King didn't want him to fight Kirkland Lang. It was the upset of the year. Everybody thought Roberto Duran was once again, he was done. He wasn't taking boxing seriously, coming in under-trained. But Roberto Duran didn't see it that way. Roberto Duran wanted redemption. And took on Jimmy Batten at the Orange Bowl. And I think that was on the undercard of Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor. So Roberto Duran, he wanted to stay in the picture. He still wanted to stay in the game. Then he took on the feared WBA former champion Jose Pepino Cuevas, the man with the devastating left hook. And Roberto Duran made it look easy. He knocked out Cuevas in 4 rounds. And once again, man, everybody's looking to see what Roberto Duran is going to do. And what Roberto Duran did was he gave himself a chance to take on a very inexperienced, newly crowned WBA junior middleweight champ by the name of Davey Moore in Madison Square Garden on his 32nd birthday. And the magic was in the air. And Roberto Duran was once again a champion. He defeated Davey Moore in brutal fashion. Davey Moore just had dental surgery. I mean, he had no business being in the ring with Duran that night. Duran, he was like a shower in a cheap hotel. You come in hot, you come in cold, but when he was hot, baby, he's gonna burn you. And Davey Moore was never the same after that. Roberto Duran took Davey Moore's WBA junior middleweight title, and then the stage was set, man, for the Fabulous Four. They were all doing their thing. Roberto Duran takes on Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and this was a fight where I didn't have I had a black box, but no, that's what 83 didn't have the black box. This fight wasn't even available on my cable system, so I couldn't buy it, and I didn't have the dough to go out and see it, so I was bumming. Some friends, there were no cell phones, but a friend of mine who went to see it was going to call me as soon as the fight was over and tell me what was going on. And I'm sitting here and I'm going through the surfing, as we used to call it, through the cable TV channels. And all of a sudden, I see Frank the Animal Fletcher fighting Juan Rodan. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, this is the undercard for Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran, and Juan Rodan knocks out Frank the Animal Fletcher, and I'm like, oh Christ, look at this, and I'm getting the whole thing. It's like it's coming in. Somebody at the cable company fell asleep at the wheel, and back then, with the early days of cable, it wasn't a 24 operation. They were open from 9 to 5, and then they had an answering machine. And anyway, they fell asleep and they left the fight on. So I'm sitting in my living room and I'm watching. I'm calling up Barroom. I'm saying, hey, Andy, snap, man, put it on channel 23. Hey, it's the Duran. I said, yeah, motherfucker, it's the Duran fight, because it wasn't even available. Mrs. Just Do, salute. So anyway, man, it was an amazing fight. Roberto Duran, he got beat by Hagler, but he put on an amazing show. Hagler had to come from behind. It was a 15-round fight, and Hagler had to do his thing in 12, 13, 14, and 15 to pull it out of the bag. But once again, Roberto Duran has got redemption. And after that, man, you want to talk about Murderer's Row. Roberto Duran takes on Jose Pepino Cuevas, followed by Davey Moore, followed by Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and then the next fight he goes into, it's with Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Both of these cats were super welterweight champions. Roberto Duran had to relinquish his title. Thomas Hearns was the WBC that he won from Wilfred Benitez. So this is a big fight. This is on a hot June night, man. It wasn't available once again. See, cable was in its infancy in pay-per-view. It was kind of it wasn't a short thing, so all cable systems didn't have all fights. But I went to a friend of mine's house and saw it, and I was thinking, this is going to be a war. This is going to be nonstop drag out. Roberto Duran is going to take those right hands. He's going to go for the body. He's going to give Hearns a fight like Hearns hasn't had since Sugar Ray Leonard. Anyway, Thomas Hearns knocked out Roberto Duran. I think it was the 4th or the 5th round. I'm sorry, the 2nd round. I'm not saying the 4th or the 5th round. The 2nd round with a right hand from hell. Nobody ever did this to Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran was planted face first to the canvas. And once again, Roberto Duran is written off. Everybody thought that's the end of Roberto Duran as we know it. You know, Roberto Duran, he came back though. That was not the end of Roberto Duran. He lost to Marvin Hagler's brother, lost a split decision to Robbie Sims. That's Marvin Hagler's half brother. And that was on the undercard of another card, another big fight too that I can't remember. But he stayed around, man. He fought the also rans. You know, he stuck around and he worked his way into contention. And in the meantime, Iran Barkley had knocked out Thomas Hearns, who, after Hagler gave up his WBC middleweight title to fight Leonard, Iran Barkley knocks out Thomas Hearns to win the WBC middleweight title. Iran Barkley defends that against Roberto Duran, who was knocked out by Thomas Hearns. Everybody thought this was going to be a routine defense. It was at the Atlantic City Convention Center. Roberto Duran pulls another one out of the playbooks of past, and he knocks Barkley down in the 11th round. He wins a split decision. Remy, hey Bruce, these guys weren't complaining about their opponents having a loss. No, they weren't, Remy. A loss or two, man. All that meant was get back in line. It's time to fight again. Duran, the best lightweight I ever saw. Delphine Irony, salute, bro. I haven't seen you in here before. Do me a favor, sub to the channel. I appreciate you coming in here, man. Duran is definitely one of the, we're honoring him on his birthday, one of the greatest of all time. And once again, man, I'm going through the old memory banks and remembering how I saw Roberto Duran. After that, he got a rematch with Sugar Ray Leonard. And, it was anticlimactic. Leonard beat him pretty easily. But, see, this right here, this exercised the ghost of Leonard, of being humiliated by Sugar Ray 6 or 7 years earlier in that No Mas fight. So, Roberto Duran, he felt redemptions. It was kind of like when George Foreman knocked out Michael Mora. The ghost took off. So Roberto Duran is feeling pretty good. Then he gets a fight, and this one was a total something that shouldn't have happened. He took on Pat Lawler, Irish Pat Lawler, became the mayor of San Francisco. Duran threw his shoulder out or something. He had to quit. He injured his shoulder, and it was a TKO. And Pat Lawler was just so happy, man. Pat Lawler was was truly one of the most amazing things. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Let me go and put you in our stream over here, bro. We welcome you to the show, and make sure nobody times you out. We'll give you your honors over here. We'll make you a member of the family and put you in your color in blue. So there you are, my brother. I appreciate the sub. We're trying to grow the channel as best we can, and the only way to do it is have more people come on here. And everybody's talking about what happened last night. And man, I'll be talking about that too. Hey, Chet Perry, bro, how we doing, my man? Demetrius Bright, my brother. Salute, salute. Thank you so much for coming by. So Pat Lawler beats Roberto Duran. And is this the end of Duran? Nope, not yet. Not by a long shot. You know, Roberto's a man who Roberto's on a mission. Let me get this mouse over here so I can keep going. And so I can yeah, see, another fight was on. Roberto Duran is now relegated to fighting on ABC's Tuesday night fights and ESPN's Friday night fights. And I remember fighting Jacques LeBlanc at the Bay City Casino in St. Louis. He won a unanimous decision. Did not look like did not look like the Roberto Duran that everybody was expecting, but he was just kind of a fixture in boxing at this time. Nobody was expecting much from him, but he kept on chugging. He was fighting on a regular basis, fighting 2 or 3 times a year. He gets a fight with Vinny Pazienza, man, my man Vinny Pazienza. And Vinny said, I talked to Vinny several times, and Vinny said nobody hit him as hard as the Roberto Duran. And in the first fight, there was a lot of a discrepancy. People thought that Duran had enough to beat Pazienza. Duran is 10 years older than Pazienza, but Pazienza got the decision. This was in Vegas. It was a unanimous decision, and people were saying foul. Duran should have won that fight. So boxing being it like it is, what are we gonna do, man? Duran goes out, gets another stay busy fight. Beats Heath Todd, a name who, it's only memorable to cats like me who read the boxing magazines, and we saw journeymen like Heath Todd who went out there and pounded the pavement and gave guys like Roberto Duran, kept them active. Where these guys, they didn't sit in the gym for a year and worry about contracts, let it marinate. Right away, Roberto Duran's back in there with Vinny Paz. This time Vinny Paz knows who he's fighting. He's not fighting an old man. Vinny's in good shape. Vinny handedly beats with Duran, who once again Roberto Duran comes in this fight out of shape. And a unanimous decision. And Roberto Duran was overweight and out of shape, but he still trudged on. He still kept on fighting. Took on the Macho Man Hector Camacho in his last big money fight, big name fight. Lost a unanimous decision. I mean, it was almost a shutout. It was sad to see. It was a 30-year-old Camacho against a 40-year-old Duran, and he fought on a couple more times. Made a few more bucks and retired with an amazing record, man. He yeah. What I'm saying, he actually fought a few more bigger fights that people weren't paying attention to. He went down to Argentina and fought former middleweight champion Jorge Castro. He lost a fight down there, then went back again. This time Jorge Castro came to Panama, and Duran beats Jorge Castro. So they went 1-1 late in Duran's career. And these are just fights to make him some money against names. Very sad fight against William Joppy. This was his last title fight. William Joppy was the WBA middleweight champ now, and William Joppy stopped Duran in 3 rounds. William Joppy says he didn't like doing it. It was a sad day, sad event, but it's what he had to do. And Roberto Duran lost another fight to some cat. This was once again he went down to Argentina. Omar Eduardo Gonzalez, a 20-1 light heavyweight. I never heard of him before. And he had a rematch with Pat Lawler. This time he beats Pat Lawler in a unanimous decision. He fought Patrick Goosen, the son of Dan Goosen, or Joe Goosen, one of the Goosen brothers. And then once again, a rematch with Camacho. This time Camacho soundly defeats him at the Pepsi Center in Denver. And this time Duran retires for good. He had 119 bouts in total. He had 103 victories. He had 16 losses. He had no draws. He had 70 knockouts, and he himself was stopped 4 times. This was the amazing career of Roberto Duran. Born on this day in 1951. And if anybody wants to share any memories of Roberto Duran, I will. I'll welcome anybody up here who would like to. Let me find my way that I can do it here. If anybody would like to share a memory that they have of the legendary Roberto Duran, please do. I'll also put this in Facebook if there's anybody over there watching us and they have any memories of the great Roberto Duran that they'd like to share. Please do. Please do. You never know. Maybe Roberto himself will hear this on his birthday. Hey, man, I know I can get away with this. See, last night I had some music in the background and I got copyright for it. And they tell you on YouTube, they say, listen, you can use this is copyright-free music. But I'm going to have to be more, as my channel grows, I'm going to have to be a little more discreet on what music I play so I don't get slapped down and get the just revenue. Hey, look at that, Remy. June's a big month. There's my man Rascalot. Let's see, my mother's birthday is on June 19th. My friend Leon Mohammed, the legendary trainer, promoter, manager, his birthday is on the 18th. I used to love June because it was the last day of school. Rascalot, those are some cool vids you've been putting out lately, bro. Very cool stuff. This herb that I'm smoking is an interesting story today too. We're getting down right now. We got always have stuff. I mean, it keeps us together, keeps us happy together. But my wife comes in today. She finds this bag of buds in a jar under the sink, and it's this stuffed vanilla kush. I got it probably a month ago, and she had it, and she had some other stuff, and she forgot about it, and all of a sudden, it was a bonanza. And I've got a little of these dab crystals in here. This is called liquid diamonds. I don't know if you can see them in there. See, they look like a little. Anyway, I'm gonna blast a couple of these up with my dab tool. That involves the propane torch, the butane torch over here. And this one's just about running low, so I got two more in there. So if they do run out, but this gives you very, very quick release of altitude. And then we're going to talk a little bit about about boxing in general, about some of the historic events and some of the stuff we saw this weekend, and how it compares to some of the fights of the past. And Last Block gave me some. I was listening to his show yesterday. He was talking about the Frank Martin. We all watch it because we're dying to see an upset. We're the guys who watched Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. We're the guys who watched Julio Cesar Chavez and Frankie Randall. The fights that we thought were not going to have any chance of upsets of happening, and they did happen. %90 concentrated smoke. I'm always hoping for an upset, my brother Rascalot. And like you said, these other upsets, if you look at Buster Douglas, he had names like Trevor Berbick on his resume. He had Mike Williams. Carl Williams rather, and he'd been in the ring with Tony Tucker. The man had an extensive resume, so it wasn't that shocking. But when you look at Frank Martin, and who did he fight? Hakatomov, whatever the hell, the guy who's going to fight Shakur next, who had a ruptured, fractured orbital bone and had to pretty much quit the fight. But I love upsets, man. And we talk about Roberto Duran. Can you imagine Roberto Duran and Tank Davis fighting last night? Roberto Duran would have been way more aggressive than Frank Martin. But the thing is, he was just a little animal with his scoring. Let me see if I can go to my friend Vintage. Press a V in here. Comes right up, man. These computers have hella memories. Hella memories. Let me see. Put I want to see Duran in there. Just gotta keep everything in one place here. Okay. This was a fight where people kind of thought that Roberto Duran was a little on the washed up side. This is from the Joe Louis Arena. Just to show a little bit of Roberto Duran. There's the great Jimmy Lennon. Hey, there's my brother L-Dub out there. Hey, L-Dub, that was a cool show you had, bro. You are the man, man. You are the man, man. He said he went to the fights yesterday, and he was there from when they let him in the door until when they threw him out of the building. But this was one of Roberto Duran's where I thought Roberto Duran was going to succumb to the devastating left hook of Cuevas. Cuevas was coming off the defeat to Thomas Hearns. And Cuevas is 29 wins and 28 losses and 8 losses. But I think he made like a dozen defenses of the WBA welterweight title. He was a devastating puncher at welterweight. And Roberto Duran was coming in after Roberto Duran is on one of his many comebacks. He's coming in after the loss to Benitez, the loss to Kirkland Lang, and this is the fight that got him the fight with Davey Moore. People thought he was washed up here. This is Roberto Duran weighing about 150. 74-4, and he just picked up those 3 of those victories recently. Hey, my sister Mahogany Roots, salute, man. Scott Gonzalez, peace to you, my brother. And this is in the they're in Los Angeles. They're in the sports arena in Los Angeles. This is 1983. Stoic Pepino Cuevas. Pepino Cuevas, I mean, this Pepino Cuevas was really something too, man. He had defeats. He was matched poorly in his early days, but you go back to his. I mean, this cat had defended the WBA welterweight title with a devastating left hook. He was a bone breaker. He beat the likes of Angel Espada, who won the title from. A long-time champion. He defeated contenders like Clyde Gray, Espada in a rematch, Harold Weston, Billy Bacchus, former champion, Pete Manzani. And these cats were big welterweight names in the 70s. But this is in the late 70s and the early 80s. And this is Roberto Duran trying to make one of his many comebacks. And he's taking on the bone crusher, Pepino Cuevas. Cuevas was known for one punch, and that's the left hook. When Duran took that left hook away from him, it was a different story. But I thought this was going to be a comeback for Cuevas, because Cuevas, he got knocked out savagely by Thomas Hearns, losing his title, and I was expecting him to come back, but you can see he just doesn't. The left hook just doesn't have the authority that it had when he was running the show. And see, this was on a card. So there was a promoter back then. His name was Harold Wesson Smith, and he ended up going to jail. This was one of the cards that he was running. You can check that name out. This guy was promoting huge cards, paying these boxes extraordinary amounts of money. I found out he had like a Ponzi scheme going with Wells Fargo, where he was skimming money off the top, taking money in. But he was paying. He had huge fights that were going on. He promoted huge events, and the feds moved in. He fell out of the picture. Don King and Bob Arum just picked up the slack. But I believe this was one of his promotions. This was on the undercard. I think Cuevas is trying to rip those lefts in the body. He just doesn't have them anymore. But Roberto Duran found once again, drank from the fountain of youth on this night. And see, Pepino Cuevas, he's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. This is one of the guys. He's got all these losses on his record. What I say, he's got like a dozen losses or so on his record. 15 losses. He had 35 wins and 15 losses, and he's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So this goes to show you how those losses are really they should be looked at, with a microscope. Don't just end somebody's career. People say Devin Haney's all done now because of one loss. I wouldn't call that the end of a career, especially when you're looking at cats like Roberto Duran, Jose Pepino Cuevas, all the fighters that day. Look at Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler had 2 losses before he won his world title. So you can see Cuevas does not have what he once had. That loss to Thomas Hearns took everything out of him. Move it up just a little bit. He's got that stoic look to him, though. Almost the same look that Roberto Duran has. That's why when this fight was made, the hands of stone against the man of stone. Cuevas is trying with that left hook, but Roberto Duran is actually beating him to the hook. Duran with a big right hand. Iveco, they were big sponsors of boxing too back in the day. You'd see the emblem all over the place in rings, the trucking company. And you still see it today on trucks, they're still around, but I don't think they have anything to do with boxing anymore. Two inducted, 2 Hall of Fame fighters. And it's funny because Cuevas is younger than Duran, but Duran's on the upslide and Cuevas on the downslide. But I just want to show you the finishing instincts of Roberto Duran. Cuevas is trying to snap that left hook, but it just isn't there anymore. And those are the hands that used to break ribs back in the day. Roberto Duran had his fallout with Don King, so he's being promoted by Top Rank. Referee's name Don Kim, I think. He was big back in the day too. Let me go look at his name. James Jen Kim. Popular referee back in the day. But Duran always would throw his punches, get in close, hold, push off. And you got to remember, too, this is Roberto Duran in the tail end of his career. But we said the tail end. Roberto Duran is in his early 30s. With this fight, he got the opportunity to fight Davey Moore for his resurrection for his second career. I mean, these are two guys who they know slugging. The Duran doesn't have Reyes on his corner. He definitely looks like he's in good condition. The dude in the back there, I can't think of his name right now, but that's one of his trainers. I'll think of it. It'll come to his name will come to my head in a second. But that's Cuevas is trying to throw that left hook. Just doesn't have the snap that he had. Oh, nice. Got a couple of them in there, and they exchange left hooks. And this fight only goes a couple more rounds, so that's why I wanted to put it on, just to honor the legendary, on his birthday of all days. Duran with that right hand. That's one thing he had with a basic combination. Left jab, right hand. Many fighters have put on their seat of their pants with that combination. Duran knows how to neutralize him when he gets on the inside. Decent user, how we doing, bro? Bruce, you might like this when you're done here. Check it out, bro. Cuevas calling a nice little blast on the inside. There's that left hook of Cuevas. Duran bites down on the gum shield, shoots the right hand, the uppercuts. This is some classic stuff right here. This is a slugfest right now. Oh. Oh. The thing about Cuevas, he had a chin of granite until Thomas Hearns cracked it. And, you know what? Once that happened, we'll see. We'll watch it here. But trying to throw that left hook at one time, that left hook, it probably still is. Because Cuevas is as old as I am, the uppercut. He could probably still break bones with that. But he's in there with a man on a mission tonight. Roberto Duran knows if he can get by Cuevas, he's got a title shot ahead of him. fourth and fatal round is coming up. Cuevas looking stoic in the corner. Oh, headbutt. And Duran, the ultimate veteran. Now watch how Duran just puts the finishing touches on. You know, Cuevas very stoic. He just bite down and just come in with that left hook, break ribs, break jaws. That was the old Cuevas. And let me thank Vintage Boxing for allowing me to show. Oh, see that right hand by Duran? Boom, another big right hand, a left hook. And Duran is just see, the old Duran would have jumped in there and beat him up, but he stepped back. The referee, back into the slaughter. Duran, all his tricks, man, keeping Cuevas on the ropes. Sorry about that quality. Vintage. After I want to thank Vintage for letting me show this, man. Here we go. I think those technical glitches are out. Oh, big right hand by Duran. But this is how a champion finishes off a wounded prey. Oh, he does not let them get off the hook. I think the referee just saw Pepino Cuevas' head. I think he was thinking about stopping it right there. But that was it, man. That's it. Once again, man, Roberto Duran was in line for get that out of there. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Roberto Duran on his birthday today. I appreciate all you cats coming by here. Remy, thank you so much for those super chats, man. Really appreciate it, bro. And happy birthday, Roberto Duran. 73 years young today. Much appreciate you cats coming by. I'm out of here. Peace.